Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your buddy Double D, and welcome back to Tom Clancy's The Division. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the G36 Enhanced and whether or not I think that it is still a competitive assault rifle in the Division post-nerf. So first, sorry I couldn't get the upload for you guys yesterday. We had internet outages and Comcast sucks, and nothing would upload, so yes. But here we are today. We're going to get this in right now. Also, if you hear something, it's because my daughter is literally in my lap because that is the only way that I could get her to stop fussing. Yes, but you are still adorable, so it's okay. So talking about the G36, let's talk first about where the G36 was pre-nerf. And that was a really good place. And the reason was because it kind of broke the meta of assault rifles. If you look at assault rifles, you'll notice that a lot of the higher damage per bullet weapons, such as the AK-47, they're going to have slower rate of fire versus the higher rate of fire weapons, which are going to have lower damage per bullet. And those are going to be things like the Police M4 and the LVOAC, things like that, etc., etc. So the G36 had the best of both of those. It had a very high damage per bullet roll, and it also, if I recall correctly, the rate of fire was actually higher than what was listed. So it had both a high damage per bullet and a high rate of fire. I would have preferred them to just nerf one of those and not both of them, but you know, whatever. I'm not a video game developer. I just play the thing. So the G36 is still in a pretty good place now post-nerf, and it's a lot of fun to use. So I definitely recommend, if you get the chance, picking one up. So let's take a look at mine, the way you want to mod it, and some tips and tricks for using it and increasing your handling. Now, hopefully my daughter doesn't hit the mute button on the microphone because she's playing with the cord. That would be awkward. As always, the assault rifles are all going to come with a plus 20% enemy armor damage bonus, which is actually pretty damn good. It's great because in PvE settings, that's just a flat DPS increase. It's going to tear through those shields faster, meaning that you can get to the actual health. It helps out a lot, and it's really nice to have. I got a face in my nose. I got a hand in my nose right now. You can see the talents that I have right here are nothing special. I've got stable, intense, and focused. And focused is going to come along with any G36. It's pretty much trash, so you can just get rid of that right away. Of course, you would want to reach for the headset all day long. I'm gonna try and kind of like tilt my head back a little bit. Focus is pretty much garbage, especially if you're looking at it from an underground perspective, which is coming out next week for PS4 users, because there's a modifier that you can do on the missions that basically makes it to where when you use one skill, it puts the other one on cooldown. There are very few times when you're going to have both skills off of cooldowns. It's just kind of a waste, and it's a waste of DPS and skills to try and not use your skills in order to get that bonus. So I recommend re-rolling that if you can. For my Alpha Bridge set, I have Deadly and Vicious on another weapon. The third talent is not unlocked, but I think it's something stupid like Provident, so it doesn't really matter. Obviously, these are you're going to want to be looking for the same talents that you're always looking for. Things like Deadly, Brutal, Vicious, Fierce, Ferocious, even Destructive might be good, Competent, things like that. And then that also goes to say that if you get a G36 with shitty rolls and something like an AK-47 with really good rolls, the G36 is no longer in a place, in my opinion, where you would want to use it over the AK-47 with better rolls. Unless, of course, you have Alpha Bridge, then just put them both on and use the G36. Thank you, honey. I don't want your honey. Oh. She was trying to hand me her pacifier, and then she threw it on the ground. Well, we're not getting that because that's gross. So yeah, so the G36, it's really good. Here's how you're going to want to mod it. She's trying to nurse on my arm. That's not how that works, honey. Scopes, you can actually use some of the bigger scopes, like the sniper rifle scopes, but I'm not a big fan of doing that simply because then I can't zoom in. Like when I put this on here like this, and you can get some really good ones with some headshot damage and stuff like that, but when I zoom in, I can't control it worth a flip, and it doesn't feel good to me. So I like something like a red dot. You can see right now my best red dot that I have is this Russian red dot. It's got headshot damage and critical hit chance, so that's a really good roll. I have rate of fire and magazine size as always. Magazine size and critical hit chance is another really good option, but I would probably stick between those two. I wouldn't go for anything like weapon damage or reload speed. Ow, my ear. The grip is going to have stability and accuracy, and the muzzle is going to have accuracy and critical hit damage just because that's the best one that I have. Now, bear in mind, again, you guys know that accuracy falsely inflates your DPS, but the critical hit damage is really nice. So jumping right into it, as far as the way that it controls and it feels, this close, I don't know when you're going to be this close using an assault rifle. Maybe when you're getting rushed by a shotgunner, but it's really easy to land those headshots and just unload on them. And you're going to be doing a ton of damage. And you see, I've got the one is none talent right now, and it is just phenomenal. Let's get some more ammo here. Even at a further distance, if you're controlling your shots and you're zoomed in a little, it's really easy to add to keep it on target. And you can see I'm not going to be landing a ton of headshots, but it's not hard to stay on target. Even at a further distance, or when your daughter's not slapping the controller, it's pretty easy. I'm assuming most of you guys don't have a 9-month-old that's going to be throwing your controller around while you're trying to aim, or yanking your headset in your ears when you're trying to do a commentary, but that's okay. She's super cute. Here are some of the talents that I like to run for PvE because they are completely different than the ones that I run for PvP. First off, I will say for PvP, I've been running Tactical Link a lot more, simply with the rise of, sweetheart, shh. Simply with the rise of the tank meta. I've noticed that a lot of people in the group that I run with, you know, I've always got 2 or 3 survivor links. So having that tactical link and being able to catch people off guard, I don't think people are used to other people running that. I think they're used to everybody running survivor link. So you wait for their survivor link to go on cooldown, and then you pop tactical link, and you can catch them off guard pretty well and melt them down, even with higher hit points. As far as talents go, I like to use steady hands and one is none. For my gun DPS builds. Sometimes I will swap out, depending on the group build, I will swap out one is none for triage, just depending on what we're using. Especially if you're running the skilled modifier, I believe it is. That's the one. Yes, I know, Dad. She started saying Dada. It's great. Especially if you're running the skilled, which means that when you use one skill, it puts the others on cooldown automatically. So having that triage so that you can get everything back up nice and quick is very helpful. However, if you're just running something like regular old hard mode, one is none and steady hands is fine. Now, I really like steady hands simply because once you enter cover, which you're going to be doing a lot in the underground, it's going to give you a 10% increased stability, and you can see that it makes a huge difference. I don't really have to worry about controlling that much. And I'll pop out of cover and I'll hang out, and then as soon as the buff goes away, bloop, I'm back in cover and ready to unload. You see, it's much easier to keep on the target that way. So overall, the G36 is still a phenomenal weapon. Paired up against an equally rolled talent gun, that didn't make any sense. Paired up against a gun that has the same talents, I definitely think this is still one of the top tier assault rifles. Obviously, if you have an assault rifle that has better talents, you're going to want to go with that unless you got the alpha bridge, then just throw both of those on. This is not viable in PvP. Assault rifles just aren't viable yet. Hopefully at some point they will make it to where the enemy armor damage, a percentage of that is applied to the player, but I don't know. We'll see. So anyways, that's my G36 Enhanced review. In short, it is still a phenomenal gun, and if you get the chance to pick one up, I highly recommend that you do and play around with it and see how you like it. Underground comes out next week for us on the PS4. I can't wait. I'm super hyped. We're going to be going to 1 upload per day once that releases. I'll be showing you guys all the goodies. Remember, PSA, you want to have a gear score of at least 219 before you open up all of your all of your boxes. So make sure that you've got something that's got a 268 or at least a bunch of 240 pieces. They don't have to make sense. They just have to get your gear score up to 219 so that when you open it, that's when you're going to start getting your 268 pieces and your 229 guns. So if you guys found this review helpful or enjoyed it in any way, shape, or form, make sure to mash that like button. It helps me out greatly. Say goodbye to the people, Sophia. Yeah? No, you want to be quiet now, huh? Of course. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Double D out. Peace.